Wow. Wow. Hey guys, it's Daniel here, back with another video, and I'm finally here to give you all my thoughts on the second to last episode of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Season 1, titled Become. How the frick did this become so shocking? So, yes, guys, we are in the second to last episode, and on Sunday, the 31st of March, Easter Day, is the final episode of The Ones Who Live, and hopefully it's the final episode of The Ones Who Live Season 1, so hopefully it's a Season 2. But with this episode, with a lot of information they give in this episode, I don't buy that there wouldn't be a Season 2, or at least more with this, storyline, because the appearance of that one character, I was not expecting at all. I should probably let you guys know, if you have not seen this episode of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, or haven't caught up to The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live yet, I'm going to advise you right now to probably click off this video, because I am going to spoil two big things that happen in this episode, and we're going to delve into it now. So, I thought this was a fantastic episode, and I guess I should probably address the elephant in the room, which is the excellent appearance of Father Gabriel. What the frick? There are no words as to how shocked I was that he was in this episode, and it's not like for a cameo or anything. He actually has a lot of stuff to do in this episode with a lot of scenes, and oh my god, I didn't think we'd see him for a while after the main show ended. What was it? November the 20th, 2022, that the final episode of The Walking Dead came out. So a year and 4 months later, we have the return of Father Gabriel, and so soon. I was not expecting it, but I gotta admit, I am so glad to see Seth Gillen back as Father Gabriel. I hope that's how you pronounce Seth's last name, but Seth as Gabriel was such a treat to see him return, and he does play a major role in this episode, and I guess we'll just start up from the beginning. So, right from the beginning of the episode, we see Gabriel. He's walking through the woods, killing walkers with his really awesome machete. We love his machete in Gabriel. And we basically find out through flashbacks that every year, for every year for 3 years, he's apparently been seeing Jadis in the woods each year, on the same day each year, to trade in some information without giving too much information, because Jadis is not allowed to give too much information about the CRM. And I will admit, these scenes were very interesting, and honestly, I didn't think we'd get to see Gabriel and Jadis back together for a while, because if you remember in Season 9, they were a couple, and unfortunately, Gabriel's heart was broken when Jadis had to leave to join the CRM, and I did kind of feel bad for Gabriel, although, I gotta question one thing. So, each year, for 3 years, these two have been talking to each other, so if I had to think back to when they first started talking to each other, I'm thinking it's probably around, either Season 9 or Season 10, even though Gabriel was with Rosita at the time. So, if that's the case, then, wow, Gabriel really likes his selection of women. I'm just saying, each day or year that he'd go out to meet Jadis, how come some people in Alexandria didn't raise suspicion about him? Because wouldn't there have been one person who noticed that he would go away, disappear on the same day each year? Heck, I would think Eugene would have figured that out, but I guess he was too busy flirting with Stephanie at the time, or Max, I should say. But that doesn't matter. I think that Gabriel just managed to get out there without being noticed. But I will admit, these flashbacks were very interesting, and unfortunately, it results in Gabriel's heart being broken again, because Jadis was going to pull a gun on him because she was afraid that he'd get in the way. But, of course, Jadis isn't going to shoot the man because she does care about him. So Gabriel goes away and waits a year to see her again. But unfortunately, with what happens later on in the episode, Gabriel's heart is broken when he finds out Jadis is not there. Why? Well, let's cut to present day. So, in present day, Rick and Michonne are making their way back to Alexandria, and they make a few little stops along the way. They find a car and start driving. They make out. And they find themselves a good pack of noodles, which, honestly, I would definitely help Rick and Michonne in that situation and stay by their side if it means I could have some of those noodles. They look pretty damn awesomely delicious. But speaking of that, Rick and Michonne do come across like these strangers, these people in the woods who are in trouble with these walkers that apparently have like stone manufactured to it, like it's covered in stone, so they can't get to the head that easily. Although Michonne and Rick definitely like show that they have power and they manage to defeat the walker. But unfortunately, there are no thanks around here because the group that Rick and Michonne saves try to steal their food and supplies. And even after Rick and Michonne give them a pack of noodles, Rick and Michonne then put those people in their place and they take the noodles back, which, yeah, I would have just stayed by their side if it means I could have those noodles. And even Michonne is like, they betrayed us, that you don't get noodles for that. And Rick is like, really? Alright. Oh boy. Michonne really put a lot of business in this episode, especially with the conflict that they go into, because they go into this like cabin, and they wake up the next morning to realize that Jadis is in the room with them. So Jadis is holding Rick and Michonne at a gunpoint, and I love this scene as well, because Rick and Michonne are talking about, like, you took Rick away for so many years now, you kept him away from us, and you know, Jadis is just like on the edge because she warned Rick time and time and time again about this, and he still wouldn't listen. So I feel like Jadis is like probably at the time like, you know what, I've just had enough of this. I've had enough. I'm going to shoot you now. And I like that Rick and Michonne pretend that they are tying themselves up, only to realize, oh wait, we haven't tied ourselves up, so we could just skip from the bed as soon as you shoot the guns. Which I was so surprised because, really, one false move would have landed Rick and Michonne dead. So, really, Jadis, you're gonna shoot Rick Grimes. You're gonna shoot Rick Grimes again. Come on, woman. And I will admit, Michonne definitely put her in a damn place when she throws an axe at her shoulder. Which, yeah, get at her. And even Michonne is like, we have to chase after her and kill her. So, basically, Rick and Michonne chase after Jadis through a truck. And you could tell that Jadis is like, okay, maybe I'm dealing with a bit of trouble. I guess they can do anything when they're together. It really reminded me so much of that scene from Season 8, Episode 12, where Negan is also being chased by Rick through chases, and yeah, that's a really big callback of the day. But Jadis disappears into the woods, and she comes across the group of strangers that Michonne and Rick were tricked by earlier, and decides that she wants to make a deal with them. And she even looks at one of the women at that place, who's pretty much the same height as Jadis. Even Jadis is like, you're tall. So she decides to use her as a diversion to lead Rick and Michonne into a trap. Really, Jadis? Another trap? You're gonna do the Season 7, Episode 16 thing again? Yeah, no, woman. We fell for it once, we're not gonna fall for it again. I mean, granted, Rick and Michonne do fall for the trap at first, but then they're like, nope, we killed the strangers, and now we're gonna kill you, Jadis. So we get this really cool conflict between Rick and Michonne versus Jadis, and I like the dialogue here, because we definitely see a lot of, like, layers with Jadis in this episode, and, well, I guess we should probably address the elephant in the room in this episode. This is Jadis' last episode ever in the entire Walking Dead franchise, because Jadis is dead. Wow. Finally, after all these years, you gave us some kind of reward. After all these years, you finally decided to kill Jadis off. Holy crap, I can't believe the time has freaking come. I'm serious, because, man, Jadis has been given second chance after second chance, and what does she do? She betrays Rick the first time, she keeps him away from his family, she helps and assists, like, the killing of Omaha in World Beyond, and almost tries to kill Rick and Michonne. So, no, she was definitely going way too far, so yeah, she's gotta go. And she goes because she's like, look, I can't die because then your children are dead, and you get like this really cool like diversion. Like, it's a diversion of a diversion because Jadis is trying to trick Rick to come out, and Rick does come out, and they think that Michonne has just left Rick now, but it turns out, oh wait, Michonne grabs that famous CRM gun and holds it at Jadis, and as Jadis said, a double crossing within a double crossing. Yeah, it was really awesome to see Jadis get a comeuppance in, like, falling for that trick, so Rick and Michonne are just so clever. And Michonne looks at Jadis saying, put the gun down, or I'll kill you. And Jadis is like, even if it involves the destruction of Alexandria, and then these walkers come up right behind her and bite her on the neck. Oh my goodness gracious, I can't believe that they're actually doing this. And this is... While people... I'm satisfied that Jadis is gone, but also... She's been pretty big in the franchise for a while. I mean, I haven't seen, like, The Walking Dead, like, from the beginning, so I haven't really been with her all the time that she's been in the franchise, because I started watching the show back in 2021. But in terms of, like, people watching the show over the years, she's been in the franchise for about 7 years, since 2017. So, half of the franchise's years, she's been in the franchise. So, this is a pretty big moment to see a character that has been, like, pretty much halfway through the franchise getting a death scene. I don't think we've seen that for a long time. I mean, I guess the closest we got is Rosita from the end of the main series. But I still cannot believe that Jadis is gone. And while she did definitely get a pretty big death, and she does have some emotional dialogue during her death scene, I am kind of glad that she's gone, because that character would have been like, okay, we're giving you second chances after second chances. You just keep betraying us? Like, no, you definitely need to go after what you've done. And she's talking about, like, I've been going after people, going from group to group, and I always lose them because it's always me. But you know, all the times, I still try my best. So, really, this is the end of my story, but now you're gonna make way for yours. There are documents over by my desk or wherever I'm working that will detail Alexandria. You go in there, you burn it up, you destroy the evidence, and then you make your way back home. And Michonne's like, yeah, we could do that. But we're also going to expose the CRM for what they really are, and we're going to stop them from doing what they've done to us. And yeah, it seems like Michonne and Rick are definitely going to sneak back. They're going to have to sneak back into the CRM in the finale, and I'm interested to see it. And so Jadis just looks at Rick and is like, you wanted to do it? You wanted to kill me after all I've done for you? Do it. Put me down. And I honestly thought that it was Michonne that was going to have to do it. But no, Rick does it. He grabs his gun and he shoots her right in the head. And I was like, oh my god. That was great. Good on you, Rick, because after everything she's done, yeah, that woman definitely deserved to die. I mean, granted, she was pretty misunderstood, but yeah, after everything she's done and all the second chances we've been giving her, yeah, she definitely needed to go. So, that's it. So, I guess, R.I.P. Jadis, I guess? Although, it was pretty satisfying to see her go. So, we have the epilogue of the episode where Rick is talking to Michonne, and he's like, we are going to make our way into the CRM, but we are going to make it out. I will never lose you again. And we actually find out that during the season 9 days, he actually asked Gabriel if he was able to do, like, weddings, and in case Rick and Michonne got married. And apparently, Gabriel gave Jadis this ring that may or may not have been Rick's before he gave it to Gabriel, but he gave it to Gabriel, and now Gabriel gave it to Jadis, and then Jadis gave it to Rick, and Rick kneels down, points up the ring, and I was just waiting for him to say it. I mean, he doesn't say it, but in the back of his mind, he's thinking that he's saying, Michonne Hawthorne, will you marry me? I was wondering for all these years whether or not they actually got married, because they really called Michonne, like, Michonne Grimes, but apparently now it's going to be official, so well done. I'll be your best man, Rick. And then, well, because Jadis died, Gabriel wasn't able to see her on, like, the day that they decided to meet, and, man, it was so good that Seth was able to slip back into that role of Gabriel, because I definitely felt sorry for Gabriel. But that begs the question, is he going to be in the final episode? Is he going to have, like, a major role in the final episode? I mean, he'll probably have a few little scenes, but I guess another thing to mention is the fact that, well, this is pretty much the crossover character that they were rumored to be in the show. So, does that mean the possibility of Morgan appearing in the show is no more? Now, I am kind of hoping that, okay, I'm not going to expect it, but I'm kind of hoping that they kept Morgan's cameo a secret, because even though Gabriel is in here, there could still be a chance that Lenny James filmed a separate scene during, like, his filming of Fear the Walking Dead season 8 that would be like a cameo at the end of the final episode. So I don't know. I'm just gonna be like, okay, maybe he won't get a cameo, because I want to be surprised if he does get a cameo, because you can never know. So that is episode 5. First things first. That was a great episode. I mean, come think of it, I probably have to rewatch a lot of the episodes in order to, like, get a fuller opinion. But I thought it was a really good episode, and I thought it was a really good penultimate. I still don't know how to say that word. And I'm really, really excited to see what the finale is going to bring. Second of all, I was so surprised that Gabriel appeared. And last but not least, Jadis is off the Walking Dead franchise. For good. Done. Pollyanna McIntosh, I wish you luck in whatever you do after this role, because that was a really well executed character that you would definitely love to hate, and I'm actually kind of glad that she's gone now. But, you know, it was pretty monumental, so I guess I'll give it that. So, those are my thoughts on episode 5. Become. Let me know what you guys thought, and I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, and doing videos, and do we really have to finish The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live this early? It's been so quick, man. But let's end it with a bang. Let's get in together. Let's support Rick and Michonne. And let's see where it takes us from there at the end of the final episode. Whether or not we might get a season 2, which is probably most likely we will get a season 2. But let's see if this first season, if it is a first season, ends with a bang. So, I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, doing videos. Till then, peace out, man. I'm really hoping the finale is going to be good.